Hello, 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 and welcome, welcome, welcome to the stream. It's me, Wordy Girl, and I do not know. I feel like I'm lagging a lot. Am I lagging a lot? Because it looks like I'm lagging a lot. Can you hear me? I have no idea. I do not know what's going on. But if I'm lagging, please let me know. I'm annoyed if I'm lagging. That's horrible. I'm gonna try to see if there's something going on in the background that is making me lag more than usual. But anyways, welcome, welcome, welcome to the stream. I don't see anything. So I don't know. I don't know if it's just me or what. If you see that my stream is lagging, please let me know. Because I would love to fix it if possible. If not, okay, good. Well, we're here because this is probably going to be the last stream that I do before we select the winner for the character driven by Wanderlust or the desire to explore. But, yeah, so, yeah, let's just get into it. If you are new to World Anvil, World Anvil is, summer camp is what we're doing. World Anvil Summer Camp are the articles that we are reading. Sorry, I'm not talking properly. Okay, so basically, the articles we are about to read were submitted during summer camp, hosted by World Anvil, if that makes sense. So, if you don't know what World Anvil is, you need to look it up. It is an awesome site where lots of creative community members can support each other. They can make worlds. They can participate in challenges and have so much fun. One of the things that we did just in July was summer camp, and summer camp is always such an awesome thing, and so many people do so many creative things. There's lots to read, there's lots to do, there's lots to be inspired by, there's lots of prompts for you to create things in your own world. So yeah, and there's badges, shiny badges. So these are the articles that people have written during that time, and I just so happen to be a community sponsor, which means that I am providing a prize to a winner of a category. So the category I am judging is a character driven by Wanderlust or the desire to explore. Therefore, if you wrote a character in that category and you participated in World Anvil Summer Camp, it's possible that you might be the winner of this category. For the moment, we are going to go ahead and read Rahjar's article. Hopefully, I did not mispronounce their name. But their article is Arnd's Spy Lords of Pollux. Oh wait, hold on. This is their world. That's not their article. Okay, that's their world. Hold on. Obviously that means that the link that they gave me broke. But it's okay. We can try to find it by basically going to Rahjar's. We're going to go to their another article page. Oh no, they didn't end up submitting that one. Okay, let's find one. Summer Camp 2023. Yes, this was submitted. Great. Now we're going to visit their competition page and we can see all of the articles they did. And they did almost all of the articles that exist. All the prompts. They almost did all the prompts. Let's see. This would be a character prompt, and I believe it's somewhere over here. Is this the person? Let's see. Nope, that's a historical figure. Still venerated. Mine was before that. I went too far. Mine was in the second drop, so I know that this is 8, 9, 10. So then here we go. It's one of these articles here. This person. Okay, I think this is it. Okay. Florin Haban. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But once again, thank you so much to Rahjar, which I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right either, for sharing this article, this very interesting article. Already I see it's very interesting. Let me move my microphone. Hopefully you can still hear me correctly. Let's just go down to the bottom and make sure this is, yes, the character driven by Wanderlust or the desire to explore. Alright, so we're going to read this article here. Summer Camp 2023, 17. So this is the article 17. This is Florin Haban, and I do not know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but we're going to go with that. Oh, it's a first person. Nice first person article. Okay. I am Florin Haban. I am a planetologist. I explore remote, distant, dangerous biomes and bring back footage, commentary, research data, and the like from the most unlikely places. Today, I want to talk to you about the Andana-Re Atoll, the newest landmass in Arnd, which I don't know how to pronounce that either, but we're going with that. Satellite photography from even 10 years ago attest that this land was underwater then, but an active volcano, a fungal layer, and hyperactive coral cultures changed all that. When I say fungal layer, I mean that very deliberately. The coral could not attach to the basalt layer present due to the heat without the fungus to absorb and mitigate some of the excess heat, and possibly some of the sulfuric gases present in large quantities all around the atoll. Who am I? I'm sure some of you will ask. There were no planetologists assigned to a place that didn't exist 10 years ago, some of you might ask. And you'd be right. I did not come here as a planetologist. I came here as a reservist army engineer. Shout out to all the can-dos listening out there. Oh, I hate that picture, but it's the only picture I have where I'm neither in uniform nor covered in some gunk. Substance, live beetles or something or the other. So it'll have to do. I'm enjoying a local drink here, an Undana Fee, and local regulations require me to state that I am drinking more than 2 a year. It's not recommended. Oh, wait. Still, local state regulations require me to state that I am drinking. I think that's what it's saying. Then it says, oh, local regulations require me to state that. Okay. I think you're missing a period there between this, if this is 2 different sentences. If it's not, I'm just probably reading it wrong. But it says, drinking more than 2 a year is not recommended and can be quite hazardous to your health, seeming as the median. Oh, I get it. Oh, okay. So, okay. It's me. I'm not reading it right. But, oh no. You know why I'm lagging so much? I think that my computer is running out of batteries. That's what's happening. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, that was annoying. But I thought that my computer was plugged in, and it obviously was not. And that's why it was going so slow. And hopefully you didn't see too much lag there. But I feel like you probably did. Hopefully it's not too bad on the replay. I hope it's not too bad. But I do understand what this is saying now. He is saying, I'm enjoying a local drink here. An Undana Fee, or Phi, and local regulations require me to state that drinking more than 2 a year is not recommended, and can be quite hazardous to your health, seeming as the median lethal dose of sulfuric gases contained in them can be obtained in just 4 glasses. please drink responsibly. Okay, so basically, if you tell anybody that you're drinking this kind of drink, you have to also give the health warnings. I see. So yeah, I sorry for butchering that earlier. I am just a little bit distracted. I'm literally on my lunch break at work, and I'm trying to get through these before I have to go back. So, sorry about that. But yes, this is a very amusing article. Let me go ahead and complete the rest of the quote. Did I finish that drink? Oh no, but that wasn't for lack of trying. However, the locals confiscated it, saying the bartender didn't have a license, and considering how potent that drink is, that particular formality may not be as optional there. I had to make do with a warm bottle of indica tonic. I've drank more pleasant medicine. And that is Florin Haban's autobiography, ghostwritten by Alban Richinez, from his ample correspondence and notes, New Sao City Press, 8,106. No, not 8,000. 816 AK. Okay. 816 AK. All right. I am just not concentrating properly. But sorry about that. Thank you so much for sharing this article again. This was a very interesting article. He's 35 years old. Oh no. Was found dead under mysterious circumstances. Okay. So yeah, this character is very interesting. Nice portrait. I love how the character is talking to us. I've been saying this before, that I love when in-world characters talk to us, and hearing straight from the character themselves is very cool. Even though this was a ghost-written autobiography, it's still fun to read. So yes, thank you so much for sharing this article again. Very interesting layout. I like how, yes, the article length is even with the sidebar. And the only other thing I would say is maybe adding pronunciation, because I do not know exactly how to pronounce it, but I think the Florin Haban is probably how you say it, but it might be Haban. I don't know. So I just don't think it ever can hurt to have a pronunciation key, personally, but that's just a preference of mine. Anyways, thank you so much for sharing this article. To Rahjar, that's it, that I could air this on stream. We're going to the next person now. We have okay, who is this? Alright, this is a very lengthy article, and they did send me oh yes, never mind. You know what? I didn't put in the chat Rahjar's actual article link because the other one broke. So this is the one. If you do want to read about Florin, do click that link in the chat so that you can read the rest of Rahjar's article, because the other one leads to their world, but you can go to their world and learn, because guess what? This does make me curious about the world. I do know a little bit about the world, I do, but reading stuff like this just makes me like, whoa, I want to go see what some more of the stuff that was mentioned, you know, what it means and stuff like that. Anyways, we are headed over to Mira in-Misra, the Matron Saint of coffee. And this is by eldknighterrant. Eldknighterrant. I always pronounce their name wrong. I say elder knight, and it's not elder, it's eldknight. And I messed myself up by doing that because I tried to search for them on something and I spelled out elder and it didn't come up. So it's eldknighterrant. Okay, now let's get this pronunciation key together. Alright. Roll the R in Mira. Misra. I try. Let's see. Okay. Ooh. I like how detailed these notes are for pronunciation. But I don't know if I will be able to obey them all. But we're gonna try, okay? So let's go ahead and read. Mira in-Misra, the Matron Saint of coffee. Dearest Mira, you've always had a heart for those less fortunate than you, even for those who most people in this world won't give a thought to at all. It's the loveliest aspect of your character, aside from your genuine curiosity about everyone around you. These are both reasons I worry about you so much these days. You're so well traveled these days that I'm not always sure where my letters should find you. So I've sent this to that coffee merchants guild in Andain, in hopes that they know where you're staying these days. I hope you're not staying in Andain, though. I suppose it's safer for you than Kellerana is right now. Azar came by the other day with his latest shipment. He had plenty of time to chat, after he was done fending off complaints anyway. Only 2 sacks of beans in his cargo this time. Says there's nothing he can do, that shipments will continue to be disrupted as long as the unrest in Tel Adragar persists. Is it true that Kellerana deployed another Ibakwan with those powder weapons and everything? And I like how there is a link to see what this is. He also told me about your latest advocacy efforts. They're the talk of merchant circles all over. I really admire all that you do, Mira. But please be cautious if things get worse. I know you've never been good at keeping your head down, but I like you to at least keep it on your shoulders. Ashes, I'm getting worked up just from writing all this down. All I'm saying is I hope you stay safe out there, and I'm looking forward to hearing all about your travels again. Right back soon. I'm at home, as always. Safe travels. Hone. I don't know. But this is a person who cares about her. So eldknighterrant did let me know that the article is very lengthy, so we are just going to scroll through it. If you would like to read more detailed about the character, feel free to. I did put the link in the chat, but we are just going to skim through the article because I don't have that much time, and like I said, I'm on my lunch break, so I literally cannot stay for a long time. And we have, I think, 5 more articles beside this to go through. So we'll see what we can do. So this is, her birth name is Mira in Tanat. They said that the AA is just a beat longer. I still don't know if I'm doing it correctly, but I am trying. I don't know. I do like how they have the pronunciation key right here, which is great. There's a Hero Forge picture. Nice, we can see. Right. Lots of known languages. There's a map of major polities Mira visited during her lifetime. And then there's a map of key climate zones. That's cool to tell what kind of places she went to. Alright, many find it hard to believe that the internalization of the coffee trade, by far the most lucrative business in vast Takhet, owes its success in a large part to an outsider to the region. But Mira in Misra, born Mira in Tanat, a merchant's daughter, accompanied her father on frequent visits to Andain, Kellerana, and Takhet from an early age. Her frequent travels, curiosity about the world around her, multilingual upbringing, and sometimes stubborn independence all set her on a path to help revolutionize the economy of a subcontinent. But the greedy ambitions that these economic opportunities attracted marred her legacy, and her activism to reverse the resulting harm was tragically cut short. Oh no. What happened? Oh, she did pass. Okay. She was 52 years old. It says circumstances of death not established. Foul play suspected. Okay. So, oh man. So it sounds like she probably let greed get the best of her, and then she tried to clean it up. So I'm going to kind of scroll through this. Okay, the story of her mother remains a mystery. The Mira, which is her mother, was a stoic, quiet woman. Alright, she first accompanied her father, the only merchant from their village, on a business trip when she was only 12 years old. After having spent a full year, some accounts claim, wearing down his objections with her insistence. Young Mira could hardly be blamed for this, however, given that she likely grew up listening to her chatty, gregarious father sometimes embellished stories of fascinating encounters with city folk and travelers from across the continent. She grew up in the family business. She proved to be a quick study when good fortune enabled the family to have her tutored in reading and writing. Nice. Childhood friends from her home village have said she was eager to be able to read all the signs in Andean. As her literacy advanced over the years, her father didn't mind having a second eye to review contracts for complex transactions. He grew more comfortable with her accompanying him after observing that she seemed decidedly disinterested in boys her age and older. Alright, let's see. She learned about other people's homelands, a city-state whose name she couldn't yet pronounce. Alright, uh-oh. Her father sustained a serious knee injury from attempting to lift a crate. Without the help of Mira or her younger brother, Haban. Oh, I did not know she had siblings. Okay. Haban had grown up to be something of a homebody, finding satisfaction in purling and being doted upon by her mother, while the rest of the family was away on business. Alright. Mira remained single her entire life. Alright. But she did date a bit, or have partners. Her career. She built up linguistic aptitude, yes, gradually accumulated funds for her voyages. She set sail, I guess, a few times. Oh, okay, so she went to this land where women weren't as empowered, I guess, as they were from where she came from. They were more relegated to domestic roles, so she was not used to that. She would do business with the wives and mothers who shopped for household goods, and she got familiar with the place and their language. She befriended a lot of them. Alright, so oh, she tasted coffee. She helped her villager friends scale up their coffee growing activities. But Business for Mira and company was sluggish, but not without profits for the first 2 years. Then one day, one of her samples found its way into an office of the government bureaucracy in Andean. There, to Mira's surprise, she found the most urgent demand for a powerful stimulant, as the bureaucrats' steady, moderate incomes were paired with no small amount of office drudgery that nonetheless demanded alertness and attention to details. So I guess that was the promising momentum that they needed to really launch the business. They shipped their goods as discreetly as possible, build up local coffee plantations. One semi-legendary account claimed she would hide sacks of coffee among shipments of aged fish and shellfish, then washed the beans thoroughly and perfumed the coffee sacks once she reached the relative safety. I guess coffee was quite a thing, so that they don't get robbed. She had every reason to take pride in having spearheaded the development. But let's see. Politics. The flow of trade with and investment into these communities was not always wholesome. Ever-growing demand for coffee through a widening area of the Haban Basin? Not sure. Alright. Even military resources are defending the city's economic interests in Tikket, all the while turning a blind eye to the not infrequent abuses committed by the latest generation of growers. But she withdrew from public life, focusing on advising villagers on best practices, while privately blaming herself for the unsavory developments in the coffee industry. Mira, the patron saint of coffee, as commentators in Calorana called her, was not an epithet she welcomed, even if it was more or less in jest. Lots of things escalated. Labor rights. This is a very detailed article, indeed. And it does not just tell about her, but it tells about the whole story, which also tells a lot about the world, which is very interesting. There were even skirmishes and attacks on coffee caravans. This is quite a business. Alright, so this tells about what happened to her, likely happened to her in her sudden demise. Widely thought to have been a result of foul play. Alright. She's still popularly known as the Matron Saint of Coffee. Simply may reflect the levity in looking upon past troubles from a distant historical viewpoint. Among non-historians, a distance of 2 or 3 generations is sufficient. Regardless, Mira's image has been largely sanitized since the heyday of her activism, and even legends of her participation in caravan raids are recounted with tones of heroism and adventurousness rather than suggesting maliciousness on her part. With time, Mira could very well be adopted or appropriated as an inspiring figure for future resistance movements, even outside Tikket. So, yeah, once again, that was a very detailed article. I did not read all of it out loud, but I did put the link in the chat, so if you would like to read it on your own time, please do so. I kind of just skimmed through it because like I said, I literally have to go back to work in like 10 minutes. But thank you so much to eldknighterrant for sharing that lengthy, detailed article that does make me very curious about your world. And I know that eldknighterrant, this time for summer camp, they decided that they weren't going to try to do the quantity of the summer camp. They were doing the quality of the summer camp. So I think they only reached copper, but still, the articles that they wrote were like this, very detailed. They were very thorough, and they did help the world to be able to be fleshed out more. So that was the most important part. Like, instead of giving several stubs that just tell like 300 words of nothing, they decided to actually use these articles to deeply expound upon things that they wanted to write. And that's good for them, and that's great. So summer camp, you do summer camp the way you want to do summer camp. If you want to do lots of articles, great. If you don't, great. Everything can work, and summer camp can help everybody in different ways. Right, next we're going to do Naomi, Azalea. And I'm going to put the link in the chat. This one is by DesdemonaRose. This is a very lengthy article as well. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to skim through some of these. Okay. She was known for, she's a tier 2 ecologist, known for being one of the first ecologists to discover Candamius salamander, a discovery that ended up killing her. Oh, man. Okay, she was born as Rinza Cousino, I think, to parents Azalea Cousino and Hunter, who has no last name. Early childhood was stressful. Her dad was an alcoholic. Azalea, though, her mother, was still in love and tried to make things work and tried to shield Naomi from her father as much as she could. She lived out the rest of her childhood at the school because some things happened at home. She was placed in the barracks at the school she was already attending. We have also, she went, and when she was 11, she became fascinated with butterflies that existed on Earth long ago. Once again, DesdemonaRose's world is not set on Earth. It's set on a planet that is observing Earth's past. And I think it's like, in this world, the Earth has not survived well, so they are trying not to follow the mistakes that Earth made. 101 Colonel is here. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. I appreciate you stopping by. And I see you say, where are you girls on early today? I'm supposed to leave in like 5 minutes because I'm literally on my lunch break at work. I thought I was going to be able to do these articles. I do not know if I'm going to be able to do it. But do you know if I'm lagging? Do I look like I'm lagging? Because it seems like I'm lagging to me. I don't know if my video is lining up with the audio. Hopefully it's not that bad, but it looks horrible on my end. But anyways, back to DesdemonaRose's article. She was fascinated with butterflies that existed on Earth. They did resemble some of the winged Talitha Harbor insects. This is the world that she's writing in. It's called Talitha Harbor. Prodryas were given that name because of their close physical resemblance to butterflies. I don't know how to pronounce that, though. They are larger than most Earth species. Their wings are slightly thicker and always have a greenish hue. The material of the wings better resembles a lightweight plant wall structure instead of chitin. They can also perform a level of photosynthesis, though the Prodryas primarily survive on consuming fungi. She loved the fluttering creatures of both planets. The creatures from Earth held a certain mystique since, as far as the Talithans knew, they were extinct. Like I said, this is a future world where Earth is kind of not good. When she was researching butterflies, Naomi found articles about a professor named Naomi Pierce. One article called her the world-renowned expert on butterflies. So the child Naomi knew she needed some part of the professor's name. She didn't like the last name Pierce, but she didn't want to keep her mother's last name. It was too long. So she decided that she wanted to name herself Naomi Azalea, because her mom's name was Azalea, and she liked Naomi Pierce, who was the scientist professor that she studied about. She waited until she saw her mother before announcing her new name. And then she made the announcement to the school as well. And yes, in Talitha Harbor, there's no assigned gender at birth, so she assigned herself as a woman by the time she hit 4. Alright. She had short-lived relationships. Her longest lasting only 3 souls. And once again, in Talitha Harbor, souls are years. SOL, like sun. So it's like 3 times around the sun. That's 3 years. Her focus was more on her vocation and simply enjoying life. She did... at the time of her death, she was a Tier 2 ecologist. Yes, and let's see. We have to scroll a little bit. She found that salamander. But they tried to collect one and bring it back, but they studied it for several days. Once they had sufficient knowledge, they caught one choosing a smaller adult. It would eventually become a museum sample. The creature fascinated them. However, they wanted the chance to watch it up close, so Naomi and another team member were the 2 that volunteered to catch the animal. Let's see. 4 days into the study... Oops, sorry. Naomi developed a cough. It was slowly developing cough, but it steadily grew worse. After 3 days, she ended up going back to the surveyed group. She was kept isolated in a medical tent. The rest of the team developed the same cough a few days after Naomi and the medical team isolated themselves as well. 6 days after she started coughing, she died. The illness spread, mutated, overwhelming her body. So this was coming from that lizard there. The group was unsure what caused the illness, but they had one creature with them, but no one back at the camp was ill. There were 5 ecologists at the site, and they'd all grown ill. However, it was only the ecologists who had stayed behind for an extended stay. Others had visited the site for a shorter amount of time and were fine. So for safety reasons, they set that salamander free. The entire group, regardless of their vocation or duties, quarantined at the campsite for 2 weeks. So yeah, unfortunately, I do see it looks like something was trying to be linked here and it was not quite finished off. But yes, unfortunately, she passed, but there was a vaccine that they created with resounding success, and everyone received it regardless of where they live. It worked well enough that the Talithans eventually resumed their plans to build a city in the place where those salamanders live. They just avoid the salamanders. So later studies were able to narrow the virus that caused the illness. It was found in a secretion on the creature's skin. The theory is that the salamander must have crawled up to Naomi while she was sleeping and brushed up against her unnoticed by anyone. She was the first to become ill and had the most violent case. Some speculate that curiosity overcame her sense of safety and she touched one while no one was looking. So unfortunately, this article seems to be that example of curiosity killed the cat, as they say. But the animals seemed very interesting, and it was just unfortunate that it was poisonous to her. But this is a very interesting character. You have the portrait here. We have the description here. Very interesting. Thank you so much again to DesdemonaRose for sharing this article. The only thing I would say is the article's kind of long, but the sidebar is not. So if we could do a sticky sidebar, maybe just like, there's a lot of linked things like this. If you could put like article blocks in the sidebar to fill it up, that would be great. But if not, it's okay. It's totally fine. That's just my suggestion. And thank you so much again for sharing this awesome article. Very interesting and sad because the lizards are cool, and I would like to find out about them also. Unfortunately, hopefully I would be a little safer, but I don't know. Okay. Is my screen blacking out? Yes. Alright, now we have... It's about to... I'm about to run out of time. How long is this article? Very short. Okay. So this one is Rastus the Explorer. And this is by MelissaPlaysRPGs. And I'm going to put this in the chat. Colonel says, naughty salamander making them sick. A sticky sidebar in the shape of a salamander. Very interesting. So let's see. Rastus the Explorer, the one and only Rastus, is quite unique among the gnomes. It's a gnome. There they are. Having spent decades isolated from his own kind, Rastus has gained much wider understanding of the boreal forest his people call home. He has gained both fortune and notoriety from the experience. While his books about the plants and animals upon the forest are universally loved, Rastus's opinions about the prank war, very interesting. It looks like it's supposed to be linked, but the article's probably not done yet. I would love to read about the prank war. They have proven quite unpopular. Almost lunch. It was an otherwise unremarkable day when Rastus followed a familiar route along the Hatway, a magical portal network designed to make travel safe for all the gnomes of the forest. He thought that he was going to just quickly pop out of a door near his favorite garden, grab something to eat, and return home. The inside of a Hatway door is transparent to allow a gnome to check for danger before exiting a tree. Rastus checked for trouble 10 times, as is gnomish custom. He did not see the dread owl. Oh no, the dread owl! On wings made of silence, the dread owl swooped upon the stupefied gnome. Its talons gripped him as it flew off with him. Fortunately for Rastus, he never made eye contact with the owl and avoided its doom gaze. Doom gaze, ah. By creating an illusionary tree snake and dislocating his shoulder, Rastus was eventually able to escape. Unfortunately, his hat was lost. Oh no. 50 years a vagrant. Without his magic hat, Rastus couldn't use the Hatway to return home. Locked outside without his key, Rastus eventually resigned himself to enjoying life outside. He did spend much of his time looking for any of his peers, but the only one he saw was his rival, twice. On the first occasion, Rastus wasn't sure if Rastin saw him before quickly going through a Hatway door and closing it. Rastus tried to call out to him to no avail. On the second occasion, Frastin's smug joy was written all over his face as he stuck his tongue out. He taunted Rastus before loudly banging a Hatway door shut in his face. Rastus has never mentioned this to anyone. Rastus says, sure, it was funny for the first 10 or 20 years. Oh no. Fear of heights. After his first flight experience, Rastus has determined that his little feet need to stay on the ground. Dizzying heights calls Rastus a great deal of anxiety. He can't think. His vision closes and he feels as though he might faint. When he remembers the owl attack, Rastus clutches his courage stone and tries to go about his day. Pixies aren't terrible. With life in the forest being more difficult every day, gnomes have started a prank war against the pixie refugees who have been stealing from gnome gardens. At first, Rastus thought that bewildering little pixies was harmless fun until he saw one cry. Now he's an advocate for a more positive relationship with the new neighbors. He's currently on a quest to solve the prank war. He never takes his hat off, not even at the spa. paranoid, I suppose, and that is Marcus talking about Rastus. Very interesting. I like this article. It's fun. It's cute. It's short. It's nice. And I like the art too. And I feel like if you just put a picture of Rastus here, like a portrait picture of Rastus here, then it would fill up the sidebar and it would be great. But other than that, like, you could crop this one to just be the doorway and him standing there and just have it right here just filling up this spot. That would just be my suggestion. But you totally don't need that. This is a great article by itself. It's very cute, it's very short, it's very fun, and it does make me very curious about the world. So thanks again to MelissaPlaysRPGs for sharing this really cute, beautiful article. Very nice. Gnomes. Fun. Now I have 1, 2, 3 more articles to go. I literally have 5 minutes, so I do not know if I'm going to be able to do it, but I'm going to try to do what I can. Because I wanted to finish all the ones that I had permission to read on stream first, and then I'm going to try to read the other ones off stream. Because, you know, and I don't even know when I'm gonna have time. I'm gonna try my best. Oh, my chinny chin. Is this really blacking out? Is the screen blacking out for you guys, or is it just me? I think something's wrong with my computer. I should restart it. Alright. We're gonna speed this one. Sorry if it's not very detailed. Oh, great! It's good. It's already a short article. Great. Okay. Once again, this is by... Who is this by? Who is it? harldawg. harldawg. Thank you so much to harldawg for sharing this article, which is al-Adin, or al-Adin, or Adin, or Adin. I don't know. I'm gonna check. I don't think I saw a pronunciation key here. So I'm so sorry that I am not able to pronounce it correctly. If I pronounce it wrong, I apologize. I'm gonna just call the person L, if that's okay. And that might be wrong. But we're gonna go, because I have to hurry up. Captain Ambrose. Oh, Ambrose. I can just call him Ambrose. Is this page formatted properly? Something looks weird about it. Well, it's okay. It just looks like it hasn't finished loading, but maybe that's just the way your world is made. Alright, Captain Ambrose. I'll just call him Captain Ambrose. Hailing from Paxander, Captain Ambrose the sailor started his life wholeborn, which I love the tooltips letting me know what that means. A baby born is just a baby born. Born in the hold on a boat. Ah, okay. At a time when elves, such as he's an elf, were the pinnacle of high society. It was not long thereafter, however, that his parents were taken and slain during the atrocities of the Purge. Oh no. The infant was saved by a Wertgeyer, who spirited the child away to safety aboard a fast schooner. A merchantman of Tyler's twins, but registered in Graynor, a good tooltip again, and a link to an article, with the Merchant and Sailors Guild. Child grew to lad, to man, with barely his feet ever touching the sands of the shore. At home upon the waves and borne by the wind was he, no child of the land, but of the salt and sea. I love the writing! I just can't read it without sounding, like, nice and poetic. I like that. Ambrose grew to man and into the captain's cabin as naturally as if the vessels he rowed had accepted him as one of their own. Oh, wow. I love the wording here. It was who discovered Calhoun walled city, who first circumnavigated Tasha. It was he who first bid Sherazade, the temptress, to save his ship and crew, and even though he kept it quiet, his crewmates all they knew. Oh my god. Okay, whoa. Yes, and harldawg said there is a potential spicy last sentence, and that was quite spicy, but it's okay. It's okay for the stream, okay? I will still say that I like it. The way they're rhyming and the way that you are wording this is just so fun. And it's short and to the point. It's nice. Current status, still exploring. I love when people use this current status. It's so cool to see what they're doing currently. Oh, wow, he's quite old. He's 7,303 years old now. But yes, he is, again, an elf. So there we go. And I like how the picture of him is that grayscale, sepia, black and white tinged picture. And it makes me know, like, the era that he's supposed to be in. I love this description of him. Then we have this beautiful boat picture that just captures the mood. And then we have his relationship towards his crew. We have his relationship towards all of these are crew. Okay, great. But once again, I've talked about this before. The relationships in the body is annoying, but it's good that this one kind of helped to even out the article. I would just put like one block here of something. It could be an article block or a picture of a boat or a picture of the water or a picture of him or something, just to make it even and not just have this little thing here. But other than that, very nice article. I do appreciate that wording. I just like the writing there. It was very fun to read, very short, very interesting, and made me very curious about the world, and it was fun to read. So thank you so much again to harldawg for sharing that beautiful article. And the last one, I think it's the last one. Hopefully it's the last one. If it's not the last one, I apologize to whoever I did not get a chance to read. I am rushing, and I literally have to be at work right now, and I'm just still doing this. I'm probably going to be late to the meeting. But I have to just do this, okay? This is Laura Pfieffer. Laura Pfieffer. And this is by barriesaxxy. And barriesaxxy told me in the form that oh no. Okay, great. I'm just trying to make sure. All right, there. This is a quite lengthy article, but I'm gonna have to skim. Unfortunately, I will. Worky girl. Yes, I'm basically worky girl. I'm very worky girl right now. Let's just skim through it. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to skim a bit, but a very interesting article. Please do read it. I put the link in the chat so that you guys can read it on your own time. Laura Pfieffer. Already, I like the image. Very cute. Born in 1528 in Diamond Heart, and once again, it's not linked, but it looks like it's an article that's not done yet. To Bertram and Ismene, I don't know, Pfieffer. As a young woman in a well-to-do inn household, she was raised with the expectation of being a homemaker and bearing heirs to her husband, but her mother, an avid reader, also ensured that Laura was well-versed in history and literature and had a good head for numbers. Nevertheless, Laura lamented that she could not study alongside her brother Marcus, who was sent to boarding school at the age of 10 for a classical education. Of course, this is a period piece, so we understand the gender norms of the time. The Diazao, not sure how to pronounce, love nothing more than to dance, which they do, shuffling in a circle around a bonfire. Last night they invited Marcus and I to join, and now they tell us we are their siblings. Aw. When she was 19, her parents arranged her marriage to Armandel. Though her parents took her into account Laura's academic interests, she dreaded the marriage and told her brother as much when he came to visit. The two of them fled the night, meeting with a Diazao, which there is a link to these, so we can know what they are. Are they an ethnicity of people? It looks like it's a caravan. They spend a year traveling the southern continent together, both keeping journals of their experiences, fearing punishment upon her return, or worse, another suggestion of marriage. Laura settled amongst a cult in the city of Arras when the journey ended. Ah. Is she the daughter of Michelle Pfeiffer? Okay. Says Colonel. Though Laura did not make her journal public at the time, Marcus published and sold copies of his, collecting the money for another journey, and at the end of 6 months invited his sister to the major continent. This second journey, which Laura was kidnapped and spent several years traveling through Nidian, searching for her brother, is both the most famous and the most fantastic of the many travels the siblings took. Laura's journey from this time includes her travels through Lanakra, her experiences with the Ethite cannibals, oh no, and her claims that she visited the home world. That's a thing, a belief here in the world. Marriage. I must be mad. I ran away from marriage only to return after 9 years and marry the very same man I fled. That's what she said in her journal. He must really love my sister. She's run off again, and he has neither tried to tie her down nor seek divorce, says Marcus. I suppose I always knew I could have part of her or none of her. If she is willing, I will take the part. And that is what her betrothed said about her. I like these 3 quotes. It's 3 different perspectives of the marriage. It's her, her brother, and the husband all talking. It's so fun. Shortly after returning home with Marcus in 1557, Laura was not surprised that her parents were still insisting on her marriage. She was surprised to discover Armandel was still pursuing her hand, driven by a sense of duty to her family and also intrigued by the man who had waited 9 years for her. Laura finally married at age 28. Shortly after, she and Armand had their first child, but within 2 years she ventured out again, leaving both her husband and her baby behind. Whoa. For the next 15 years, Laura's life followed this pattern, with every couple of years alternating between staying home with their family and traveling the world with her brother. She and Marcus both continued to keep journals of their travels, which they sold copies of upon their return home, usually to raise money for their next adventure. Laura's second child was born in 1564, but it was not until 1573 that she finally settled down permanently. Though there is some speculation that she traveled with her family in later years, this is not documented in her journals. There are some writings between herself and her husband, however, that indicate they grew closer in their later years, as they could match each other's intellectual discussion. These letters also indicate she loved her children, though she always struggled with her duties as a mother. So then they have legacy, I believe. It might be a slight typo. She may have died before me, but I in no way outlived her, and that's what her husband said. It's likely that Laura and Marcus ended their travels due to the death of their mother, after which Marcus could no longer put off taking his father's business, which already had been suffering. He married a widow and adopted her 2 sons, naming them his heirs. Marcus also doted on Laura's children, and she developed a strong friendship with his wife. The 2 siblings remained close until Marcus's death in 1582, though she refused to arrange marriages for her children. Laura was determined to provide for them in some way, as well as Marcus's sons, who had inherited a struggling business. In 1587, she had her own journals, including her previously unpublished one and her brother's journals, compiled and sold as single volumes. She died 2 years later, with her husband following shortly thereafter. I don't believe either Marcus or I were cut out for family, but perhaps we can still do right by them. That's what she said. At the time of publication, her journals were the most complete documents that could ever be found on certain subjects, including Linkara and the Theozao. They have since been translated into many languages, though the journals are clearly full of hyperbole and bias. They are still studied today, as they offer some insight into the world at the time. They are also frequently read for their adventures, and the Pfieffer journals remain the most widely published books in Neodon, aside from the Death Witch. So these are her parents, Bertram and Ismene. Don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. There goes Marcus. And that is Laura. Nice family tree embedded. And yes, there we go. We've got the article done. So thanks again to barriesaxxy for sharing this. This one was a delightful little read. I appreciate it. I like the formatting. It is nice. The whole thing is just nicely laid out. So thank you again to barriesaxxy for sharing that. I literally have 1 minute to get back to work. I am supposed to be there right now. So thank you so much again to everybody for joining me for this little quick short stream. And I officially did all the articles that were submitted to the forum. I believe I did, that were submitted to the forum, that gave me permission to actually air them if they are present, and they were present, or if they're not present, as I just aired these articles that were not and nobody was in the audience, but I am going to send them the replay. So thank you so much again to everybody for joining me on the summer camp journey. I don't know when I'm going to schedule any more streams. I really don't know. The schedule that I set out is probably going to be wrong, because I'm probably not going to be able to stream anymore for the next 2 weeks. It may be for the rest of the month. I have no idea, but hopefully I will be back in September. It's scary to say September because it's like summer's already gone, the year is already gone. Next thing you know, it's going to be Christmas. But guess what? Thank you guys so much for just being awesome. I appreciate you all, and we're gonna just end the stream now. Thank you so much, Colonel. And I was thanking all my followers. I have 303 followers now, and I'm so thankful. But I do have actually 2 subscribers, and Colonel 101 Colonel is one of them, and I am very appreciative of you. Thank you so much, Colonel, for subscribing. You're awesome. I appreciate you guys so much. Love you guys so much. God bless, much success, love, hugs, happy summer, rest of summer, happy time zone to everybody, happy writing, happy creativity, and just have a blessed one. Love you. Bye.